To do the board assembly instructions, we'll get the title on it. What a neat way to do it. Board assembly instructions. In the instructions, you see there's a whole lot of little things in this area here. You have numbers on the side of the board, letters on top of the board, and they line up with each hole. So if you come from a letter on the top of the board going down the 1, 2, 3, 4. So each one of the holes is have a letter and a number. So if you have X, which is the last one over here, 1, that is right on the top of the board. That first hole is X1. If you have X18, it's the bottom one on the board. That would be X18. So this is the way they're numbered. This way, when we put the parts in, we'll designate the leads go into different holes to make it possible to put them where we want them. The back of the board has also got numbers on it, but they'll be on the bottom when you put it upside down this way by turning it in the holder. And on the board, there's a little copper, looks like little bitty miniature copper washers, but they're glued to the board there. And they're so close together that they can create a problem with some of the connections, especially when you put a whole lot of them close together. The solder wants to cross over and short the connection. So to prevent that from being a real problem when we put but that's fairly close together. This is the socket here. And you can see they're really close. So we're just going to we're going to leave two of the washers to solder the leads to hold it on the board while we do it. But I'm going to remove the others in that area. And up here in the instructions is what you do. In this case, remove as shown in the video the copper rings around the holes in 3, in 14, in 13, in 14, in 15, M12, M13, M14, M15, L12, L13, L14, L15, and K13 and K14. Two of the 12s, and those are the ones we're going to leave on the board for the pins number 1 and 8 of the socket. To remove those, we take a hot soldering gun, and you see it, turn it over, and here's let's get that on that right. We want N13, and that's easier when you pull it out this way. Press this in, I think you can see me do that, get a little bit warm and just tip it out. You see that copper ring comes off of the board. Down for another one that we want to take off and just clip it this way. And that's removing them. So I'll just remove those. You got the idea. It's a lot easier for me to do it. Now you can see I've completed doing that. I got the board back there, but we can take a good look at it. So in instructions on page 3, to start the assembly, you insert the card into a holder with the white letters and numbers facing you. That we've done. Install an 8-pin socket with the number 1 pin in hole N12 and the number 8 pin in hole K12. So this is a socket. I've got it with a white background so you can see it. And you see there's a little notch in it here, and over here is a little notch. I've painted it white so you can see it better. As you can see, there's a notch on each one. Now, those two notches, when you put it together, must match up so that you have the correct numbers to the pin. And that's the only guide for it. So there's not a restrictor. But I find that if I put these two together and put them on the board, that they'll hold together much better while we're working on it, because these pins here, if you push down on it too hard with a soldering gun, will push out. That's kind of a no-no. So, but by putting them together, that prevents that from happening. And it also helps to keep you from getting the pin, the unit itself too hot. But I haven't done that. I've built several and they're doing okay. So I'm going to put that together. So the number 1 pin in hole N12, number 8 pin in hole K12. We've kind of got them already marked up, but here's the K row, just this side of the white line, and so if we use that, and 10 is this one here, 11, 12 would put us about right like that, the way it looks. Well, I got the 2 there that's not there, so there, that looked real good. To hold that down, I got this fancy little clamp that I can put into there. You see, that'll hold that socket in place while I solder it here, see? It's down good. So I've cleaned the soldering gun good. Get my solder out. Now to solder these, let's see if we get this thing around to where you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. You're going to put the soldering gun where you're on the pin and the base socket, the little washer underneath that. Line up so you can get lined up on the doesn't look like it lined up very good there. You can see why I did that, because these are relatively difficult to get. Well, the gun doesn't want to. There we go. Put a little solder on it, maybe that'll help. Well, that seems to be pretty tight finally. I had to bend the pin over the bottom up a little bit to make it so it wouldn't fall back out. Makes it a little more difficult to solder when we get to the wires, but not bad. We can manage that. And I see a little bit of extra solder here that I can move off. Yeah, that's pretty clean. That'll work well. Well, things don't always go as planned, it seems like. So now, we'll get back to the instruction sheet again. Now we have a 2-pole terminal strip that we'll need to put in. So the instructions say to put the terminal strip into holes R2 and P2 so that the connecting wiring will come from across the board. And here's our little 2-terminal strip. You see there's nothing to enter here, but on this side is where you put the terminal, you wire the terminal strip. And in this case, we want it to come from across the board, not out here, but across the board. And it goes into what I say, P1, or P2 and R2, So up here is P down 2. And over here is R2 right there. So now when you push that in, it just kind of holds itself. It's pretty tight there. So we won't have to solder that in to hold it. It's going to do it. We'll go down and insert a 2-pole terminal strip into holes D7 and B7. So D7 and B7 is up here. D and B, and I can see the 7 real clear right there. There we are. We didn't have to bend those particles to make it stick at all. Now, we want this terminal to come off the board, not here, so the terminals for wiring is from up here once we get it done. Insert a 2-pole terminal strip in D. Where's the other one here? Here it is. Insert a 2-pole terminal strip into holes D13 and B13. D13 and B13, and so it's wired from this way direction, from off of here, this way off the board. Well, let's see if we can put in D13 in that little hole over here, then we'll know where it's at. So there's B and D. There we are. See how that looks here. Reposition our unit. There we are. We're coming right along. Now we install one of the transistors. It's an IRFZ44N into holes H4, I4, and J4 with the heat sink toward the top of the board. So here, so I4, 1, 2, 3, there's 4, J and K. No, it's H4, J4. Yeah, I'm over. Here we go. There we go. Got to pay attention to things. Now, we want to bend the pin in hole I4 toward hole I1. So I4 is over here. That happens to be the center one. I'm holding it in so it's tight to the board, and I move that up, and that makes it really tight to the board there, see? So it'll stay there while we're doing the rest of the work. Oh, we've got another one to put in. M5, N5, and O5 is where the holes go with the heatsink toward the top of the board. So it was N, M, O, N, and M. So 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be down here, and at the O here. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Now we'll hold that in and see what it says. We want to bend the lead in hole M4 toward K2. K2, so M4, it's M5. Yeah, M5 toward K2. Here. Eventually this one's going to tie together there, so that makes that part look, that kind of gets it in reasonably. Well, back to the 2K ohm pot, and holds H6, H7, H8 with a screw adjuster over H8. And let's see here. So you got the screw adjust here, the pins. Now we want to go to H6, 7, and 8. So H6. H is about here. And let's see. E6 would be down here then, H6. Here's H6, 7, and 8. With a screw adjust over H8. Yes, did I? Yeah, I did that. Okay. But we want to bend the pin and hold H7 toward B7. So let's go in that direction. In H7, so you've got, that's the center one. So it goes toward that direction, like that. Now that holds it in place. Now, we install an 8.2K ohm resistor, and I think that's right here. I'm getting low on those, but I got enough, I think. And holds P13 and U13 with the resistor near the socket. And that's important because we're going to use this lead to hook it to something else as well. So U13, this is 10 right here, 11, 12, 13, that's down here, and U13 is over here. O and P. Let's get it in this one. I had it in N. There we go. Oh, get this one in the right hole. There we go. Now we're going to move that from the bottom, bend them back this way and that way so that so they'll stay in place. Let's see, can you see right there? Well, see the resistor. And we've got this down near the socket, see. Now you connect the side of the resistor lead to pin 2 of the socket. So this is pin 1 here, and that's pin 2. So we'll go over to here, and we'll look that up on pin 2 is here. Well, let's see how well the soldering gun works this time. You need to hold the soldering gun on one side of the joint and add the solder to the other side like that for it to take and make a good joint. That way you don't get a cold joint. If you're not careful, you only get one of the wires hot and the other one doesn't, and it doesn't join them. It makes it look like it's good, but it doesn't. That looks like that feels really good. So that's done there. So let's go back and see what else we've got to do here. And they want to bring the resistor lead to pin 6 of the socket. Well, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4 down here, 5 there, and 6. So pin 6 is right about seven, 8, so this so that's clearly pin 6 right there. We just solder that and trim it just. Yeah, it looks like a joint. Yeah, it's a joint. And to keep this wire switch pretty much straight across. There we are. Reasonably you can see that. Well, now we want to push a wire up through hole I-14. So let's see, we've got I, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 right there. Yeah, I counted it right. It lands up with a number. The trouble is this has got something on it. Gotta clean that up. Here, I is over here. There we go, and I-14 lined up in that hole. There we are. Up through I-14. Down through E6. E is this row here, and the 6 would be right there. Connect the TS pin and the TS2 pin in hole D7. So D is over here, and 7's there, so that connects to this pin. There, got it connected. And then we solder it. And back to the soldering gun on one side and the solder on the other. So you see there, it works right in there really nice. Now we connect it to the number 6 pin of the socket. And that just happens to be right where it's close to for some strange reason. Let's see, get that tightened up there, make it look nice and clean on the board. And, if you push the wire down, it makes it a lot nicer fit. This wire here comes up off of pin 6, so we can just put this together right there and wire it. Inside it. Oh, there we go. We're just putting those right together. Now we'll trim it. So if we trim this one right here, pays to have better tools. We want to trim this other one too while we're at it here. Well, that looks pretty good. Nice, neat little joints. Then, let's see, can you see that? Oh, there we go. Get rid of most of the shadows there. So, oh, we get a new sheet. Now it says to install a 1K ohm resistor. It holds O14 and R14. Now let's see, we got O, and 14, and R Well, is that O14 and R14? Let's see. Yeah, we got that in those holes. And there it is, you're leading R14 to this socket pin number 3. There's 1, 2, there's 3. Oh. There we go. There's the number 3. Just solder it and trim it. Oh, we could use a little clean up on the gun in here. You gotta keep this thing really clean on these real close soldering joints, otherwise you get them all connected together that don't need to be. Let's see, can you see that good? That should be reasonable. I think it fit the solder and trim. Sure did. Let's see, you can see that joint there.
Coming back to see you. No, you're not going in my bedroom. Nope. Want me to shut this door so he doesn't get his stuff in there?
Well, we soldered and trimmed that. Now we install a 8.2K resistor in holes R15 and U15. The last one I got, but anyway, that's enough. I got it. Yeah. R15 and U15. So, $15 is just below the line, and R is right about here, and U is here. Oh, went the wrong way. Okay. Twist the leads in R15 and 14 together. So that's these two here. Yeah, it makes a nice looking joint. Now we push the wire down through hole R17. So this time it's going to go down, so it gets to the top of the board. And we want R17, which is the next to last one anyway, so there we go. And I'm going to attach it to the wires of R14. So R14 is right there. So this gets right to those wires too. Oh, I'm trying to make a neat joint out of that. That looks pretty good. Now you solder it and trim it. So there's three wires going together here. Might take a little longer to get that heated up. That wasn't too bad. A little hot. I'll be sure it's together though. Now we trim those. We don't trim too deep because that cuts below the where the solder joint is, and then you got oh, there we go. And we'll yeah, that's about as close as I need to get them. Now what do we do? Pull it back tight, it says. Well, we did that. And then push through hole E17 and connect to TS3 there. So so we want to go to E17, so back through it, and E is right here, so because I had it off the roll, I got to trim it here, and then, so it was E17, this one too. Now this is you push them down with your things like that, as I find works really good in making that a nice look on the board. Make sure it's connected good. And this connects to the pin up here. The TS3 pin in hole D13. There's about 13, and this D is right here. So that's this pin here. I'll get it where I can see it. Hopefully. Now we'll solder that one. Well, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now we go back to the instruction sheet again. And now we push a wire down through hole 018. Connect to pin 4 of the 8-pin socket, then up through M18 down through C18, connect to the TS3 pin, ready to go. So, here's the ground wire we're going to run into that thing. So this wire runs from X18 all the way back around. So I better have about a 8-10-inch piece there. I'll just do this. So we want to go down through hole X6. So X6 is over here. So we're going to go down through X6, 5, 6. Oh, that's up here X6 is. Yeah, let me think of straight here. There's 5. It'll be 6 there. Well, that whole bundle of 5's close enough for what I'm doing anyway. Then we want to go through X18. I'm going to take this way down here. We'll leave a bunch up here like this. Leave it there. Then we go to X18 and pull it tight. There we are. Yeah. Yeah, it was up through hole X18 down. When we go to hole 018 and down through it. There's this row. That's this one right here. Tight. This goes to pin 4 of the 8-pin socket. And you're going to go back up through, so you want to go down around it. Oh, I got it right close there. I'm going to clamp the wire with my trusty little clamp here. Yeah, I'll make sure it stays there, so I'm going to solder it to that number 4 pin. See, there's this one over here. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 pin. I got it right there. Get that reasonably tight so it's away from the other stuff there. That's pretty good. Just solder it. Looks like that went pretty good. Clamp off. Yeah, it looks really good. Now let's see, what hole will it go back through? Oh, there it is. We'll go back up through M18. So if you want M, it's this one right here. 18 is the last one. That's easy to find. And this is where you can kink them up. You got to be kind of careful how you bring that back to make a nice looking job out of it. You can bend this back this way. Well, looks pretty good. Now, we go back up through C18 and connect to the TS3 pin in B13. So ABC 18 there. You want to be sure these two wires don't touch each other, so you got to get them on the board. And this goes up to this pin here. Let's solder that. We got it right where we want it, so. Let's see. Yeah, we got solder. We connect to the TS pin in B13 and connect to the TS2 pin in B7. That brings it to this one. Yeah, that should make a good connection. We'll solder it down there. Oh, it looked like a good joint. Now we want to put it kind of out of the way because we're going to bring it back over here after a little bit longer. So let's just get it over here out of the way. Now we're going to bend the transistor lead and hole H4 down to hole G6, and that's this one here down to here. And then we're going to bend the pot wire and hole H6 down over hole G6 over the transistor lead, and that's this lead right in here. That's this lead here over here. So that connects this one and this one. This is a transistor and this is a pot lead. Now we're going to install a 10K ohm resistor in holes D2 and G2. And here we have the resistor. Yeah, right there, I got it down where you can see it. So D2 and G2 like so, and there we are. We'll temporarily bend those that kind of out of the way here. That one so we can get to it here in a minute. Now we want to bend the wire from hole D7 around the resistor lead and hole D2. We're going to connect it. So this is the wire, and here's the resistor lead. So we've got them kind of together there. We'll put a clamp on this one to hold it down good. So we need to connect that and solder it. Oh, I think we finally got it to take. There we are. That looks good. We'll check it. Yeah, they're together good. And we'll connect the wire from B7 to the wires at G5 soldering trim. And so that's these that we have here. We'll bring this down. We don't really have this smaller wire here. It needs to be basically on top of that to make a better connection. And we'll move this one over the top of it. Oh. And if we get our clamp down on those, that brings it very close enough. I think that'll solder. We'll get there's 3 wires there, so we want to get all 3 hot though. There, they look like they melted real well. Now that we've soldered it, we need to trim those. Be sure we don't cut away the good part of it though. There. And then there's some back here. There, it's got trim, and they look pretty good. There, we got that one. Now we need to install a red LED. What they're trying to do. Now we'll install a red LED. That's this label. Would hold H1 and I1 with the plus lead. That's the longest one. This is the longest lead right here. You see that? Yeah, you can see that. The longest one's the plus lead. And hold I1. So we have H1 and I1 here. There we are. Connect the solder the lead that holds G2 and H1. So let's get I1. There we go. Now we can install the
Oh, too cool.
connect the solid leads in G2 and H1 together. So here's G. There, that's got them down there. We'll just solder those together right there then.
Oh my goodness, it's almost 4 o'clock.
That looks like it got it. Let's see here. Doing a test. We need to trim that. So, that's a nice trim job. Now, connect the LED in I1, the transistor lead in I4, and the transistor lead in M5 together. Now, I4, and M5, so the one in M5, there we go, okay, so it's the M5, which is this one. I'll clamp that to make them so they're tight when we solder it. And we'll solder those. That looks like it went together pretty nice. Trim this one. Really do it. Oh, I believe it is. It's this one. Yep, there, Taylor. Very good job. Well, Then we need to connect and solder the transistor lead in hole N5 to the TS1 terminal in hole P2. So N5 here. P2 is here. Here's a little clamp. It just barely makes it. So let's there we are. We should solder that now. Well, it looks like a good joint there. Yes, I'd say it is. Oh, that's looking better all the time. Now it calls for a green LED. In holes M1 and N1 with the plus lead and M1. And again, the plus lead is the long one. So M1 and N1 is here. Oh, and again, we'll bend the back leads just enough that it can't fall out. And now, and bend the lead in hole N1 over the transistor lead from N5. There we are. Transistor lead in N5. Well, I think we can solder that there. Let's see if we've got a connection there. There we go. So, following the instructions by soldering and trimming. Oh, that's excess. I won't get into anything else. Now, we install a 10K ohm resistor in holes M3 and S3. There we have one here that we M3, S3. So we go back over here. S is over here, which would be 3 there. And let's get in the illness there. Turn it there, and then get a 2 to help us out down here with this other one. That's pretty tight around that, but now we want to pull it down to where we lose it out of there. Yeah. There we are. We got it in finally. Attach the lead in S3 to the TS1 terminal. This is the S3 TS1 terminal. We attach the resistor lead in hole M3 to the LED lead in hole M1. So there's M1. Let's attach it down here. Oh. Now on the M1, why don't we solder and trim that one, but not the other one
You didn't push it
at the
through.
moment.
Yeah, there it is. I guess Don was going to sleep all day. He's in there watching his computer. There's a TV there. Didn't even begin to print it. Shoot. Use them.
There.
Ooh, that's dirty. That's a canvas or something? Canvas book? Man, come here, toilet paper. You need to clean this thing else as well. You need to clean it all the time. Holy cow.
Yeah, we installed a 1N4001 diode in the whole P6 and S6.
Oh my God.
There's our diode. With the plus lead, that's the lead with the silver band next to it. I think you might see that. Let me see, I got it up at the top. The whole S6.
Oh, my.
So here's S6. So that would be P6 and F6. And double check my doing here. Yep, the plus goes into the S6. S6 connects here. Terminal 1. And the other one to terminal 2. This is a flywheel diode. So when the power turns on and off, it gets a coast if there's a coil connected to that. Output there. That prevents spike voltages. Because the full just fades out rather than just abruptly stopping the DC current from a coil is kind of bad on the circuitries. Well, we got the thing installed. I kind of hooked up ahead of time here, but it's all right. And I believe the instructions will say to solder, so we'll go ahead and do it while we're here. Solder, so we'll go ahead and do it while we're here. There we go. There's no trimming at this point because we're going to do a little more cooking before we trim everything. Now we install a 1N 4001 diode. It holds U6 and U3 with a plus lead and hold U6. Well, let's see here now. There we go. And you can see the band with the little. Let's see, get a good look at that thing. This end has got that little kind of a silver stripe around it. And that is your plus lead. And that goes into U6. And the other one in U3. There. We've been the one in U3 straight up, and the U6 down. Down the U line there. Now we connect the wires in U15, U13, and U6 together. So that gives us this one, this one, and get a hold of it here. And this one together. That's the plus line for the operation here. And right there is a good location to do that. Now we'll solder them together here at about U12. And now we'll trim it. So it's the wire from So be sure to only trim the wires from U15 and U13, because this is a plus lead here. See, we're going to connect some more wires here, so we want this to be pretty neat. Yeah, that looks like a good connection there. Now we want to push a wire up through hole U11 and down through hole J12. So we want to go up through U11. Yeah, it's easier just to count it up. U6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here would be 11. And the U roll right here. Yeah, that was done through J12. And here's a J roll. And let's see. Ten, 11, 12, that'll be right here. We're going to attach it to pin 8 of the socket, and the potentiometer lead from hole G8. So that's next to 8 of the socket, and the top in 8, that is this lower one here. See if we can see it better. That's this one. So we're going to reach the 2. Here's 8 here. And that's right at this location. I got it there, I think. So we'll solder that. Makes it better. It keeps it on that pin. You gotta be careful not to short those wires out to something else, see? Well, that's a good solder job. Now we want to bring it up. A good way to hold that would be to bend that pin down over that one, but my eyesight makes it difficult for me to see the pin there. If I go around this side of it and then bend the wire from the potentiometer over the wire, we can make a good tight connection without having shorting out anything to anything else. That's just we'll solder that. That looks like a good job. Now, to keep that separated, we'll trim it. You see, here's the center one. We want to be sure we keep those free from each other. And trim it close. And we have a good connection. Now back to instructions. Going to pull back tight and attach and solder it to the wire at U13. So this is the one we pushed in. We're going to pull that back down to the board, pull it tight. I had to kind of push it down to the board. That makes it, we can get a nice straight line. Now, we'll attach it. And solder it. Now, trim. There. Looks like we might have done a pretty good job there. So, install a 1K ohm resistor. It holds U10 and N10. Let's see here. We have U10 is about here. And N is in this row here. Yeah, they got it in there. And we want this one resistor close to the N10, so we'll have enough wire back here and at N10 want to go to the number 1 pin of the socket and the transistor lead in 05. So here's the number 1 pin of the socket. Better. We kind of need that pin straight out to go around it to make this work well. So we'll go around number 1 pin of the socket, which is kind of up. There. There. We got a nice job around it. And the transistor lead in hole 05. So we come on up here to it'll be this one. And O. Well, this would be just a little bit easier to just bend that up and bring this down to it and go around it. You can see why the transistor was down at that end and make the leads long enough to reach this without having to put in an extra wire for it. You see that's connected pretty good. Now we can solder those. Ooh, I pull that off while I did that. We'll change that to solder this first. Let it stay there. Then we'll wrap that and solder it. There we go. There, we've got that one. Oh, now we'll pull it back tight and solder the back side of the transistor lead to plus. That whole U10. Yeah, we got a little dirt on here. We need to clean that off a little bit. There we go. Now we'll trim it. That looks pretty good. Now, install another 1K ohm resistor that holds U8 and I8. Let's see. I8 would be about there. Good. And we want the resistor close to this other end here, close to the I8. There. Yeah, we connect and attach the solder the lead in U8 to the wire at U8. That's back here where we put it in here with a there we go, we're going to get it now. We connect the side of the lead in I8 to the transistor lead and hold J4. So we've got J4, that's this one. There. Okay, and we're going to need, now we need to go to the number 8 pin and socket. We'll go to the 8 pin socket and pin number 7 of the 8 pin socket. So we have so to reach pin 7, so this one is on 8 and this is 7 here. Bend it down carefully. Put a little bit of kink here so it is. Difficult to get that wire just exactly where you want it. So you want 7 and the end of the wire to line up. You can see why I put the resistor lead down toward that I8 hole, so there'll be enough wire here to do this. So I think we can solder that right there. to make sure that it's soldered, I like to get the pliers on that wire itself and see that, yeah, it's really tight. It's soldered. And we're clean on both sides. We haven't shorted out anything there. Well, it's another little part put on the board. That really looks good. On this back side, all the wires are free from each other. So, what's next? Nothing to trim, so we'll just go on down here. Now we need to push a wire up through hole H11 and down through hole H6 and attach to the potentiometer lead in G7. Well, through H11. And so we go, here's H here. Well, looks like we're going to have to go through G. Oh, this end messed up. So G11. Down through H6. Well, I've got that wire kind of in the way here. I'll need to move it over so we don't touch those two wires. attach and solder the potentiometer lead in hole G7. We want to attach the G6 to this lead. There, we'll attach that. Well, it looks hooked up. We'll trim it. Yeah, we've attached it to the potentiometer leading G7, and we'll trim that. And we'll connect the hole in H11 to the number 5 pin of the socket. So we need to push this back down so that it's reasonably tight to the board. Now this goes to pin 5 of the socket, which is looking at the socket. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here it's 5 right there. So you can go around this stuff. Attached to pin 5. Ooh. Yeah. Let's see, where's my trusty little clamp? Maybe that'll reach that. Oh, that's got it tight in it. Now let's see, we'll solder that. If it's tight, we will trim. It looks like all the connections and the Distance on the wires is safe and all that good stuff. There. Now. Now we install it says a yellow. See, I've got a kit full of these things. The yellow LED. It holds W10 and W11, and with a plus lead, it holds W10. So, we go to W, plus lead in 10 and 11. There we are. Take that back and bend the leads just a little bit so it stays in. Doesn't fall out on me while we read the next instruction. Now we connect the lead at hole W10 to the wire at hole U10. So we're from here to the one on this side connects to the wire here, and so we'll solder that. Ooh, bounced back out on me. Oh, we got a connection. Trim that. Oh, back to the instruction sheet. Now we install a 10K ohm resistor. So I think that's in these. Yep, here it is. And W12 and W15. There was 11 there. So about 12. So 15 and 12 like that. There we go. It should be in there someplace. There, we finally got it in there. Connect the resistor lead in W12 to the lead in W11. Oh, that's these two here. Looks like I didn't have a good connection on that one here. Let's put it back over there. And that will solder those 12 and 11. The reducer lead in W15 goes to the higher wire in X12. Here's X. And that would be this wire. Let's see if I got that good. Well, that looks like it. We'll trim that. Now we need to push the lead from hole U3 up through hole V2. That's U3 here. That's this one. Push it up through V2. That's pretty tight. So V2 is the next one right here. It's a combination of push it through the hole, then you pull it, and you have to push the other lead down to make it come tight. You want to get this down to get all the lead up here. You can, because you're going to. There, you push the. Get it down, get a hold of it again, and pull again. And there, it's right up tight, and you got the lead up. This lead up. So now, it's got to be over the lead R2, or connected to it. So the lead in R2 is here. Because it connects to that one there. So being as I didn't go over it, I put R2 lead over it. And I would just solder together. That'll do it. Get it together good. If they are firmly attached. So that connects the input plus here, which will be already here, feeding the transistors after you go through your fan or pump. This is the minus side. It's the plus input. So it looks like we've got the thing done. We did it right now. So we'll run a test on it. One thing I could add to it here, if we wanted to test the board, it'd be nice to use this little adapter unit here for a temporary power supply to it. And if we hook it up, we're going to need both leads roughly about the same. Then move back the screws off on our now this is also labeled as plus here and minus here. You see, to put it on you have to turn it over, so you want to get this plus one up here into the plus side. So if we put it this way down, let's see, can you see what I'm doing there? On the board. Well, we finally got the adapter in. So with the adapter in, we can put power on it and see if anything happens. That plugs it in to our power supply. And we can turn it on. You can see the light. There it is. So we have power to the board. At least that much of it works. To test the board, you'll see the